We begin with breaking news tonight out of Times Square. 2 people were shot this afternoon, including a child. Let's get right to CBS 2's Kieran Dillon. She's live at what is still an active scene. Kieran.
Jessica, Times Square has been completely blocked off after this double shooting. Let me give you a live look behind me right now because this is very much an active scene. Now, people are not allowed in this middle plaza area, and in the distance, you can see ambulances along with dozens of NYPD officers. I've also overheard an officer here on the scene telling people that many of the businesses in this area have been evacuated. Now, police say 2 people were struck in a shots fired incident around 5 this afternoon near 44th Street and 7th Avenue. After the shooting, video shows people running from the scene in a panic. One of the victims is an adult female. The other victim is a female child under the age of 5. Right now, what led to this shooting or any possible motivations remain unknown. So again, this is a developing story, but 2 people, including a child under the age of 5, have been shot here in Times Square. Their conditions are unknown at this time. Police are currently searching for a male suspect. Anyone with information is asked to call police. We are expecting, Jessica, more details from police around 7:30 this evening. And of course, when we have them,
another developing story tonight. One of the nation's biggest fuel pipelines forced to shut down after a cyber attack. The pipeline supplying 45% of the East Coast fuel products, including gasoline, diesel, and home heating oil, spanning 5,500 miles. The president briefed this morning, the White House saying it's working to avoid disruption to supply and restore pipeline operations as quickly as possible. But questions remain about the potential impact on consumers and prices at the pump. Here's ABC's Elwin Lopez.
Tonight, a ransomware attack hitting one of the largest fuel pipelines in the U.S. Colonial Pipeline forced to shut down its entire network. Certain systems proactively taken offline to contain the threat, halting all pipeline operations and affecting some of its IT systems. The massive U.S. pipeline runs 5,500 miles from Houston to New Jersey. 45% of all fuel to the East Coast shutting down after the cyber attack. It's unclear how long the pipelines will be off the grid. The Georgia-based company transports 2.5 million barrels a day of gasoline, diesel, fuel, and other products. Experts warning a prolonged delay could eventually impact consumers.
It's crucial to have this pipeline in service. If it drags on beyond, say, 3 or 4 days, we may start to see some supply challenges.
This latest attack comes amid growing concerns about the nation's cybersecurity. Last December, a massive software breach at Texas-based SolarWinds was identified. Hackers reportedly gaining access to emails at U.S. government agencies. And in Florida, investigators say someone took control of the computer systems at a water treatment facility in an attempt to tamper with the water supply.
It's really, really important that we heed these warnings, that these attacks are not going away. So it's imperative that if you're an owner or operator of critical infrastructure, that you invest in your cybersecurity.
Officials on alert here. Elwin Lopez joins us from Atlanta. And Elwin, we're learning this ransomware attack will not just affect this one pipeline, but others as well.
That's right. What the company says, the shutdown will also affect other pipelines traveling as far up as Maine. Now, the FBI says it is working closely on this.
Groceries going up. Everything from coffee to cereal to wine up. Edward Lawrence, well, he's at a supermarket in Maryland and he's been talking to the shoppers. What are they saying about these price pops?
Yeah, and so far they're saying they haven't really felt it yet. But have you noticed the stuff that you're buying is sort of creeping up in price? We've seen the gas prices go up, and I just bought this piece of bread. It was about 30 cents more today than it was about a year ago. And year over year, we're seeing everything in the grocery store up about 3.5%. And if you break it down, just look at this. If you break it down in the individual sectors, cereal and baking products are up 2.6% from March of this year to March of last year. They're up meat, poultry, fish, eggs up 5.4%. Dairy up 1.6% year over year. Fruits, vegetables up 3.8%. Non-alcoholic beverages up 3.2%. So as I said, the shoppers that I've talked with said they're not really feeling it because they've been bargain shoppers that I've met. The folks are looking for those coupons and those deals they offer at the grocery store. Listen.
With gas, yes. Thank God there's public transportation around here, so I don't have to go to the pump as often. But yes, food prices are going up. Not necessarily at the grocery stores, but a lot of restaurants are increasing their prices.
And she tells me that she knows the prices increasing at the grocery store. That's going to come, she says. The Federal Reserve says there'll be a spike of inflation this year, about 2.4%. The Federal Reserve chairman says it will come back down. Other economists that I've talked with said that maybe that inflation spike won't quite come down on its own. We'll just have to see.
A major milestone for the transgender community.
A Supreme Court ruling sided with two transgender people on gender marker changes. They spoke with KSL's Morgan Wolf on this long battle.
Sean Childers Gray and Angie Rice have been going through this legal battle for the past 5 years. They say that they have made a lot of sacrifices and this has taken an emotional toll on them. But fighting for what they believe is right is important to them.
And today is just the bright, shining moment for equality.
Angie Rice proudly stands as an advocate fighting for transgender rights, but many sacrifices have been made for her to get here. Same with Sean Childers Gray.
To realize that for those kids who are wondering, does it matter? It does matter, and you matter.
The two were granted the right to change their names on their birth certificate in 2016, but the Ogden judge at the time said that he could not grant them the right to change their gender on the form, claiming that the laws weren't clear enough. The 4-1 decision came down this morning, ordering judges to approve gender changes on birth certificates and documents. Rice and Childers Gray's attorney said, "We are grateful that our clients' right to live as their authentic selves has been upheld by the court."
And today, the Utah Supreme Court affirmed to every transgender Utahn, this is your state, this is your home, you belong, we see you, we honor you, we love you.
The transgender community is calling this one a win, but they say they have a lot more to accomplish in order to achieve more equality. In Salt Lake City, Morgan Wolf, KSL 5 News. Morgan, thank you. Today's ruling means Utahns can walk into a courthouse and change their gender, just like those who change their names. Under the state law, a person who has a sex change approved by a Utah court must file an application to change their certificate. Like a name change, they'll need the right documentation to do so. The person must show the gender change petition isn't for a fraudulent purpose and show evidence of their identity. This includes proof from a doctor that the person is undergoing treatment for gender transition.